Hello everybody, this is Lilla in Hawaii. I made quite a few things with paper bags which are readily available for me here in the islands. So I thought I would show you some of the items that I've made there, mostly to go inside journals. A couple of them are for storage only. I'll show you how I put some together. So the first one I'm going to show you is this bag, and it hangs on the wall like that. It's like that. And all I did with that is I took a paper bag and folded it in half, and on the side with a little dimple, that's going to be the front. But before I sewed it up the sides and across the bottom, I opened it like that, and I'm not going to do this, but I decoupaged it with some lace and some ticking fabric and different things, and then I used black thread and I zigzagged all over. So it's actually folded on the bottom there. So that's it. And then when it's completed, I put hangers on with some twine. And that's where I keep some of my paper dolls. So there's a bunch of paper dolls sitting there. So that's the first idea. Another idea, using the same sort of bag principle, is I take this bag, fold it in half, and actually I'm probably going to have to, how am I going to do it? I've already cut into this one. I didn't want to mess with it, but anyway, what you do is make a fold it, cut off some of the bottom. So some of this I cut off, not all of it, and then I made a pocket here, just a single layer pocket, and then once again folded this over. Actually, I'll do that, and I sewed across the top and around the sides, and I make the stitch pretty long on my machine so it doesn't cut through. And unfortunately I have white thread, never mind. And the way I do this is, first of all, I trim something across there, put some decoupage paper or something like that, and then to create the pocket on the back, that would go like that. To create the pocket on the back, I tear off, I hope you can see that, I tear off a piece of the back, and I hope this is going to work because I wasn't quite prepared to tear it off. Wasn't quite as organized as I thought I'd be. So anyway, I take a piece of the back, just the back layer, and make sure that the pocket is facing down, and I'm going to tear this across the back. Okay, so this is the back now, and what I will do is I'll put a trim across there and then across here to match. So that will give me that. And then so therefore I've got a pocket on the back, and I've got a pocket on the front, and then when it's trimmed, it'll look like that. And as I said, this bag is a little bit smaller. Don't know why, different batch I think. So that's just another idea. And I do like these a lot. So I'll just pop some things in there. And let me see, I've got a couple of things I can put in the back. So that's the back, and that is the front. I took some lace curtaining and I just spread that right over the whole bag, and I made a patch for it, and before I sewed the sides like this, I put the patch on. And then after I'd done that, I decided, actually this is still before I've sewn the sides, I decided I wanted to put something at the top, so I ruffled up some seam binding and sewed that across, and then inside I keep storage, and this is a little notebook that I made, so this goes inside, so it's nice, but I'll use it for storage, and it could be sold like that, and I could stuff it with a bunch of things, and that would be rather pretty. So that's the smaller size. I also make it in the bigger size like this. This one has a gusset in the bottom, And you may notice that it's the same on the back and the front, and that's again that curtaining. However, with this one, I sewed the patch first and glued it on. I didn't sew it on. This I did stitch on the button and these pieces of fabric, and then I did put a piece of crocheted trim across the top. But the way I put it together is I take the paper bag, cut off the bottom, you know, the folded bottom, like, okay, so I cut off this, do this is a little one, cut it off there, which gives me this, and when you open it, you've got a whole piece. So while it's like that, I turn it right side up, and there's the gusset in the bottom, and then I cover that with the curtaining fabric, put this back with, it should be with the gusset, and I fold it like that. And of course in this case, as I said, I had, for the decoration, I sewed that ahead of time, and that's just simply glued on. And then to complete this, all you do is sew down each side, put the decoration on, put some trim across the top, button and so forth, and so there you have your bag with the gusset. So that's the next idea. So I'll just move that. I like these a lot because they hold a lot. So for example in this one, I've got another one of my little notebook pads. If you want to know how I make those, I can show you later, because I do have a piece of cardboard on the back that folds right over and makes that at the top. So I'll just put those aside. And then I've also got a little bit different style that I make. And this one is made with a smaller bag. It's like this. I'm not going to sew it, because I'll just tell you how I did it, because I don't want to make another one. I've got a bunch of them. But basically I take the smaller size bag, and I did have to order these. So they're not something that I could find here. I ordered them from Amazon, I think. So I fold over the top of the bag while it's just keeping it closed. Fold that over and stitch across there. And that gives me there. And then I sew down the sides, across the bottom, and up the top. And that gives me the pocket, which is here. Of course, the pocket, you probably have noticed that the pocket will only be half the size of that, but that's fine. So on the back I did the same treatment as I did on the other one I showed you, where I ripped off part of the back, and I made sure I ripped it fairly high up. I decoupaged some paper on it, and so I can use it like that. So that's the back. And in the front I put on some trim, which was just a collage of some tatting and crochet and things. And then sometimes I'll decorate that, but in this case I didn't want to, because I had made this nice little pad. And what I like to do with this one is take the back page and slip it in there, and so there's my little package. See that? So it could be like that. And then at the top on this one I did put a little fabric label, and as I say, these are nice. Well, this doesn't fit in this one, this goes in this one, but anyway, this is nice with, I like that, it had a sort of a French look to it, so that could go there. And then on the back of this one I put a label at the top, and I also put the rest of this picture, I put the rest of it on the back, and I folded over that piece where I had torn it, so that gave me a little, kind of like a little bit of a cuff, which I really liked. And so that would sit in there, except I'm going to sit that in the front to give it that French look. And I'll put some other little items in the back. This one has a sort of vintage look, I think. And so that's all made from this. So this one I did put a hanger on. Oh, I know, that to cover where I put the ends of the hanger, that's where I put that label. And that's a fabric label. So let me just show you again how these would look. So this, I'll just pick up the camera and maybe just show you how I do this. So I've made this onto some scrap brown paper. The next thing I'm going to do is just tear off the paper. Not all of it, but some of it. And I could glue that on there. So there they are. So that's those two made with a smaller bag. Here's the big lunch bag made into a pocket. Here's the second lunch bag made into a big pocket with a gusset on the bottom. This is made from the brown paper bag just folded. And it has that torn pocket on the back. And then the last one is this brown paper bag folded in half, decorated first, back and front, with lace, trims and stitching. And this one has a handle because it goes on the wall. And inside I put all my little paper dolls that I decided to make recently. Really like these. This one's hugging this one, so that would be like that. Anyway, thank you for watching. This is Lila in Hawaii. Bye now.